And the next one is nearly ready. One final job to do on it, though, is we need to put some little holes down this edge, and you use the same tool, the joggler. One side is the joggler with its jaws there. The other is a hole punch. So, and hey presto. Now tack that plate in place and you'll see why those holes are important in a second. A couple of different welding techniques here. The first, where we can get to two panel edges on both sides, we can actually spot weld. So down here, we can spot weld this together. The second welding technique makes use of the holes in the plate. And the reason they're there is because with a spot welder, I can't get one arm of the spot welder up behind the centre of the plate because obviously the sills are in place now. So the way round that is you make a hole in one plate and then weld through that hole onto the plate behind. It's like puddle welding. And you do that with a MIG welder. There we go. You can see now, we can get a pretty good idea. I've ground all this off here where I did those puddle welds and spot welded on this outer piece. Bit more welding to go on down here and in these holes as well. But it's kind of getting the shape, you can get the idea of where we're going. If you look at the other side, you can see the finished job. What do you think, Pete?
Yeah. I've got to say yes, because I want to get on.
Think so? All right then. That's it. Time for a break. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Are we doing fishing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, gnomes are all the rage these days.
Yeah.
Coming back in fashion.
No place like Nome.
Yeah, I thought I might find you another girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Might catch an old trout.
Ooh.
Welcome back, my workshop chums. We move on to front suspension. This grotty bit of kit in front of me is the front cross member off the MGB, and it basically is a unit that houses the front suspension and the steering system, OK? Let me take you through the major components. We've got a hub here with its brake disc on and brake caliper. If I then turn that hub, as you would when you're steering the car, you can see in here is a swivel axle unit, which is basically a kingpin, a shaft that goes from top to bottom that allows the hub to swivel on it. The top of that kingpin is held by an upper wishbone, which are basically two lever arms that attach to this unit, which is a lever arm damper. It has a couple of pistons inside it, which acts like a shock absorber, both when it's going up and it's going down. At the bottom is a conventional wishbone, and in between the two arms of that wishbone is a tray in which the coil sits. So that's basically the suspension. The other bits on the cross member are the steering column, goes up to the steering wheel. That comes down to a conventional rack and pinion unit, and finally an anti-roll bar. Our very first job is to work out which bits we can salvage and which bits we need to replace, and we're going to start with the steering column. Three main things you need to check on the steering is first the backlash between the pinion, which is at the bottom of the steering column, and the rack itself. So if you keep the two hubs absolutely still, if you turn the steering column, you're feeling for any kind of rock before it actually turns, and there's nothing there at all, is there? So that's cool. The second thing is to check for where in the bushes, here and here, where the rack comes through. Move it up and down. You can see there is some wear there. It's not massive. And the third thing is to check the balls here. And the only way to do that is to break off these ball joints so that this arm is free. That's fine. And that's pretty good, like the other side. So I reckon we can salvage this. Next, I'm going to take off this hub and swivel housing in one go. Now, one thing we have to be quite careful about here is the coil spring inside here is under compression. So when you drive out this pin here and the hub falls away, it all could go kaboing and end up with bits all over the place. There is a special tool that you can use to hold that compression and then let it off gently, but we can't find one. We've looked around, we've asked everybody, but no one has one. So we've come up with a solution, which is basically a luggage strap, which we've put round to hold the tension. So if it all does fall away, it can't go anywhere until we release it. But nothing will happen until we knock this pin out, and that won't happen until I've taken this nut off. Now, for the fun bit, although this could be well seized in here. Well, that did move quite a lot. It's now being held a little bit by this brake pipe, which we will be replacing. So we can knock out the pin at the bottom and take the whole of the axle off. There we go, and off comes the complete swivel axle with hub on it. Next, I've got to release the tension on my strap, which at the moment is still quite a lot. So I've come up with this rather clever technique. Easy peasy. Next, the damper. Right, you've seen the big bits come off this side. Got a few other bits and pieces to take off, including, obviously, the coil spring, and then I've got to repeat the process on t'other side. Then it's a big clean-up job to sort everything out before I can start rebuilding it. So the bits are back and they're all painted and they look gorgeous. This is the bit of the build we really like, when you've got all that rubbish behind you, all the rust and debris and crud, and now you can start building again with lovely, fresh, clean stuff. The front cross member is here, all painted in my favourite black paint, and we've started rebuilding this end. Although this swivel axle unit is the old unit, we've just painted it up a bit. It's the old damper that we've just refurbished with paint, but we're going to start building this end now. Got all the parts laid out on the table. We'll go through it step by step, and as long as we can follow this picture here, we'll be fine. Right, that's the lower wishbone done. Next, the bump stop. The next job is to fit the lower wishbone assembly to the front cross member, but that involves putting the coil spring in, which kind of, if I show you the location of these things, this is going to go up in here like that. This is going to go like that underneath, and then the whole lot's got to be squeezed up to compress this spring enough to be able to bolt it all together. Now, most sane, normal people doing this job actually do it on the car. So you've got the weight of the car and the engine, and the car's on its wheels, on the hubs here, to be able to compress the spring kind of naturally to be able to put it together. But we're not going to do that because we can't do that, because we haven't got a rolling chassis that we can work with. So, Les, bless him, has come up with a tool. This. You can get a proper MG tool for this, but we couldn't find one. So he's made it out of the end of a steering rack from a Land Rover, welded onto a 14mm bit of threaded bar with a nut welded halfway down. Now, he tells me, this is going to work. So that meant to leave all those directions. Okay, spring. Trying to compress this spring, the problem is that you're having to pull down in an arc, which is why we use the ball joint. So it means no matter what plane it pulls in, actually the track rod end will move to be able to pull it in a direct line. That's the clever bit. Yeah, that'll be fine. Keep going, Les.
Yeah, real risky, Dad.
Yeah, it's going well.
I've got long arms.
It's going well, Les. Excellent, Les. It's
Back, you coward.
Right, I'm going to do these up now.
Yep, you ready? I'm so confident I'm going to slacken this off.
You sure you should do that?
Yep.
Nice thing about this, though, is the number of people who said, you can't do that, you can't, without the proper tool from MG, you can't really build it off the,
Yes.
you can't build it off the car.
But they also said, yes, there is a proper tool, but nobody's ever seen one.
Yes, exactly. It's a bit like a dodo. It probably is actually extinct. But there are still people searching for it. The one tool from MG to do this job.
There probably was only one.
Yeah, it might be. But I do love it when people say, you can't do it, it won't work.
And you come back and tell me.
Yeah, and then
You say it can't be done.
I said, yes, it can't be done. And he goes, I've worked in potteries for 30 years,
Hey.
man and boy in engineering department, and you
Yeah.
tell me it can't be done. Do they speak like that in Stoke?
No.
No.
Harebrained idea.
Don't hit me. Listen, if it wasn't for me, you'd have never thought of this.
Are you sure?
Here it goes, look. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Didn't we say it would work? This now, of course, is available for hire.
From the Lesson Mark Tool Hire Shop.
Yes. Good, that, eh? It's worth a fortune, that. And keep that in my pocket, always.
Said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, always that's going to be in my pocket. So if you ever see me with something rigid in my pocket, you'll know what it is. It's my tool.
Cup of tea, then?
Yeah. Right, over it goes, mate. It's getting heavy now. But you can see we have got a cross member complete. And a word of warning, thank you very much. There's a word of warning before you go ahead and put your springs in like that. You must remember to put in the bolts in the centre of the cross member that will attach this lot to the car itself. Because if you put all that in and you haven't put those in, you'll have to take it all to pieces again. That's it. We'll see you next time. We are so chuffed, aren't we? Yay! Yay!